कैंसर इन मेल कॉजेज एंड प्रिवेंशन। स्पीकर हैं डॉक्टर दिनेश चंद्र कटियार, नई दिल्ली से। प्रोग्राम डायरेक्टर हैं डॉक्टर चंद्रू नीलानी और चेयरपर्सन हैं प्रोफेसर सुरेश चंद्रा, प्रोफेसर अमोद कुमार और प्रोफेसर DS माथुरिया। मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा प्रोग्राम डायरेक्टर डॉक्टर चंद्रू नीलानी, स्पीकर और चेयरपर्सन से कि आएं और स्टेज पे अपना स्थान ग्रहण करें।
Vision of the different type of the malignancy among the male. Really, it is my proud privilege in the dais the learned speaker Dr. Dinesh Chandra Katiar is here, who is from the head and senior consultant surgical oncology at the Venkateswar Hospital, New Delhi. Virtually, again, this is the proud of to be James, or he has been graduated as MBBS from GSB Medical College, Kanpur, MS General Surgery from GSB Medical College, Kanpur. Then he has gone for the further super specialization MCS from Kidwai Memorial Institute Oncology from Bangalore. Dr. Katiar has gone through the various excellency in the field of academic surgical oncology, the teaching and learning procedural activities, conducted various workshops in the talk in national and international level. He got the membership in ISO, Indian Association of Surgical Oncology, Indian Society of Oncology, Association of Surgeons in India, and Delhi Medical Association, in Indian Medical Association. Huge list is here in his work, excellency, and eminence in the field of the surgery, oncology, and in the form of the execution, as the operation, as a teacher, in teaching activity, in different type of the assembling and association of the conferences at the national and international level. As per publication, he got very many publications at the national and international level. So, may I call to Dr. Katiar Sahab, please deliver his talk, just to, which has been assigned from this university.
Persons, my dear friends and students, very good afternoon. I am really privileged because my teacher introduced me. I was his student of Dr. Suresh Chandra in Community Medicine Department. For me, it is very pleasing moment because I am holding the MBBS degree and MS degree of this university. So, and coming to the same university, it is a very happy moment for me. Now coming to the talk, that I am really thankful for the organizer that they have organized such a big conference of 3 days conference and at this level. So I'm thankful that they invited me. I'm really thankful for that. Now coming to the talk, because topic is vast, I have to conclude in 30 minutes. So I decided that summary part I will give first and then later. Incidence of cancer in this country, it is, my sir is here, he must be knowing better than exact incidence, because it is difficult that exactly how many new cancers happens, patient develop in this country. But there is a mode, there are certain registries, so through that the ICMR gives data. So the latest data of 2016 is that in 2016 around 15 lakh new cancer patients were there, developed in this country, and out of that around 6 lakhs patients succumb because of this disease. And future prediction is around 20 lakhs by 2020. We will have new cancer patients, around 9 lakhs deaths. As far as cancer, that scenario is changing. Earlier we were saying that commonest cancer in female, cancer cervix. But if you see this 2016 data, now commonest cancer in female, it is breast cancer. Similarly, few years before it was the lung cancer was the #1 cancer in the males. But now it is oral cancer, oropharyngeal cancer, and lung cancer is second, followed by prostate cancer. Another important thing in this is that around 30% of our patients are because of tobacco. So if you see 15 lakh patients are developing cancer, so 5 lakhs are developing cancer because of only tobacco. So this is the important thing, was that to understand the changing scenario in the cancer incidence. Now if you see the general causes of the cancer, it is smoking and alcohol, then certain diets, certain occupations, then hygiene, sexual life. This is more important for female cancers when we see the breast cancer and the uterus cancer. Then hereditary. Only 3 to 5% cancers are hereditary. Otherwise, they are non-genetic and they don't run in the family. Only 3 to 5% cancers are hereditary. These causes I will come again. Now we all know that tobacco, because it causes 1/3 of cancer. In India at any given time, these are the quite old data, that 15 crore men and 7 crore women consume tobacco in various forms. Then another important data is that government spends around 1,000 crore on treatment of tobacco related diseases in 5 years. There are so many harmful substances are there in the tobacco, but one thing is to note that tobacco doesn't cause only cancer. It is the biggest cause for cardiac problems, then cancer, then so many other problems, and among the cancer, it causes oral cancer, oropharyngeal cancer, lung cancer, stomach cancer, urinary bladder cancer, pancreas cancer. Besides that, I told heart diseases, cardiac problems, Buerger's disease, and so many things. Now when we come to the prevention part, there are certain strategies to combat cancer. That first is that primary prevention. That means whatever we do to stop the onset of disease, that we call as action taken prior to the onset of disease, removing the possibility of the disease will ever develop. In this, nothing but health education, nutritional intervention, environmental modification, lifestyle and behavioral changes. So these are the called primary prevention, where our aim is to eliminate the disease so that it should not develop. Then second level of prevention is that if we cannot prevent, then at least we should be aware of the cancer, and whenever symptoms are there, we should detect it early. Because you see, everywhere it is written that cancer is curable if detected early and treated properly. So it is very important that we should detect it early. And good thing is that in India, if you see, the commonest cancer in male, mouth cancer. Mouth is an accessible organ. So we can see what is happening. If some ulcer is formed, it is not healing. So only awareness is important, that if ulcer is not healing, so it may be cancer. Similarly, in women, cancer cervix uterus, we can diagnose it very easy by pap smear. And third, that breast cancer by simple breast self-examination by lady, and then mammography. So these, that screening procedures which we do by person does himself, herself, or physician do, we call as a secondary prevention, so that if we can halt the progress of disease at its incipient stage and prevents complication. It is like that stamping out the spark rather than calling fire brigade. But to know that, detect the cancer, we all should know that these 7 warning signs. I know that last 2 days they have been told and you will be knowing. So these we should know them. Now coming to the organ-wise cancer. See, commonest cancer in male is oral cancer, oropharyngeal, laryngeal, laryngopharyngeal cancer. And again I will talk in detail about tobacco. And risk factor, causative factors are tobacco, alcohol, any chronic irritation. There are 5 S we were told earlier: smoking, spices, spirit, alcohol, and speculated teeth, sharp teeth. So any irritation. Then lack of fruits and vegetables in the diet. Then another newer thing in last decade is happening, that oral and oropharyngeal cancers are attributed to human papilloma virus. We all know that HPV virus is a normal viral presence in the women genitalia. So earlier in the Western country, around 40-50% were oral cancer were because of the HPV infections. This is our altered sexual behavior. So because of oral sex, now in India also around 10% cases of the oral cancer are because of HPV infection. Otherwise HPV, we all know that it is the causative agent of the cancer cervix of the uterus. These are the various forms of tobacco it is consumed. There are 4,000 agents are in the tobacco. Out of that, 40 are the carcinogens. And besides carcinogen, the most important thing is the nicotine, which is an alkaloid, which is the addictive. So because of nicotine, addiction develops, and then there are certain carcinogens. Those causes the cancer. And those carcinogens are carbon monoxide, tar, then certain chemicals like acetone. We all know that to remove the nail polish we use that acetone. Then ammonia, the cadmium, arsenic, methane, formaldehyde. So all deadly molecules are there in the tobacco. Then certain metals are there, aluminum, magnesium, these harmful metals are there. because of these carcinogens, they are, how tobacco, these carcinogens causes, they damage the DNA of the cells, and then these cells becomes altered and they proliferate. And we all know that smoking doesn't harm the person who is smoking. The second-hand smoke to his family and the environment where he is working. So there also it causes the same, it is harmful in the same way. Naturally, what we can do, we should avoid the tobacco, we should encourage others to leave tobacco. Then another thing is that alcohol. How alcohol causes cancer? See, alcohol is a fat solvent. It damages our lining of the oral cavity, the esophagus, the stomach. It damages the cell wall. So what happens? The carcinogens which we are ingesting or inhaling, the coming in the body, they penetrate deeply because this normal barrier is damaged by the alcohol. So those carcinogens act more and they damage more. Then we all know that alcohol causes cirrhosis. It damages our liver. So the body resistance is less, body immunity is less. So those normal agents are harmful things which should be neutralized by the liver. Liver is unable to neutralize them. Then cirrhosis itself causes a hepatocellular carcinoma. So in multiple ways, alcohol is additive. So if someone is only smoking, the risk is 2 to 3 fold compared to normal person. If someone is taking only alcohol, the risk may be 2 times higher. But if someone is taking alcohol and as well as smoking, consuming tobacco, then that risk is 10 times. So this combination is lethal. Then there are certain diets, like nutrient deficiencies are implicated as risk factor. If diet is low in fruits and vegetables, risk of cancer is there. Then diet low in vitamin A, iron deficiency. And about HPV infection I have already told. Then certain pre-malignant conditions are like leukoplakia, oral lichen planus. As such, lichen planus is not a malignant disease, but if it is persisted, if it is not treated properly, it may turn out. Of course, in prevention of oral oropharyngeal cancer is the only thing is that we should avoid tobacco, avoid alcohol, minimize alcohol, then diet. We should consume diet with high fiber, enough folic acid, vitamins and minerals, and nutritional supplements are useful. Then coming to the next, the cancer is the lung cancer. Problem with lung cancer is we are not diagnosing it early, and there are only 2 cancers which are very fast, lung cancer and gallbladder cancer. So in the lung cancer, symptoms, commonest symptoms are cough, hemoptysis, that is blood in sputum, breathlessness, chest pain, and the change in voice. Except change in voice, all symptoms happen in tuberculosis of the lung also. So here, because tuberculosis is very common, so anything is there, something is in the X-ray chest, we attribute it to tuberculosis, and without proving that it is tuberculosis, treatment is started. So here the battle for lung cancer is lost. So now practice is that we should try to prove the tuberculosis also by FNAC, by sputum, not FNAC, by sputum, and then X-ray, CT scan ways, so that we should be sure that this is not the lung cancer. Because many times our thinking is that start TB, if it will be tuberculosis, then in 15 days, 1 month, we will see the improvement. But in lung cancer, even in the 2 months, disease can become from stage 1 to stage 4. So that waiting period is very harmful. Prevention, of course, the important thing is here is the higher suspicion index in the physicians. Then coming to the GI cancers. Gastrointestinal cancer are also common, and they are also most of the time misdiagnosed because of a problem in most of the we people are having that gas ban rahi hai, पेट फूल रहा है, डकारें आ रही हैं. These symptoms are eluding symptoms. So sometimes we diagnose is very late. And of these, the GI cancer, the commonest is the stomach cancer, followed by colorectal cancers. So in the GI cancer, causative factors are highly spiced, salted and pickled food. In Japan, it is more common. There the salted fish is consumed more and pickles are consumed more. And one thing is seen that in now, as the economic development is happening, industrialization is happening, and the more refrigeration has come. Like now, fridge was a luxury 20 years before, but with coming of the refrigeration, incidence of gastric cancer is coming down. Maybe because earlier time we were to preserve the food, we were adding lot of things like more salt, more oil and all that. So, but with refrigeration, incidence is coming down. Harmful things are like grilled and barbecue foods, red meats. So, jitna bhi hai hamara tandoori chicken and all that is harmful, because chicken, when at the higher temperature, pyrolysis happens and nitrosamines are produced, and nitrosamines are carcinogens. So they causes the cancer. Yeah, then one more problem is that H. pylori infection. H. pylori is a bacteria. It is a very common infection of the stomach. And these symptoms which are common, कि पेट फूलता है, गैस ज़्यादा बनती है, ये because of this H. pylori infection. Some patients of H. pylori infection, if it is not eradicated, they progress into the stomach cancer. Otherwise, most of the people who are having HP asymptomatic also. So in some people, it becomes a causative factor for the carcinoma stomach. For prevention, avoidance of smoking, and diet should be rich in fruits, vegetables, fibers, avoidance of the salted, smoked and poorly preserved foods, eradication of H. pylori infection, and those who are having persistent GI symptoms should undergo endoscopic evaluation. Then another common cancer is esophageal cancer. Again, causes are same: smoking, alcohol. In some countries, drinking very hot tea and more number of tea daily. Then another condition is called as Barrett's esophagus. What happens? We call as a gastric esophageal reflex. बहुत लोग बोलते हैं कि खट्टी डकारें आती, इवन गले तक पता चलता है खट्टा खट्टा सा पानी आ रहा. That our acid, which should be in the stomach only, and the sphincter, which is esophago gastric sphincter, that should be competent. That stomach content should not come in the esophagus. So, but certain people are having regurgitation of the gastric contents. So once there is regurgitation, that acid also comes in the esophagus, and then esophagus epithelium from isthmus becomes columnar epithelium, and then carcinoma of the esophagus develops. Then coming to the liver cancer. In the liver cancer, we all know that hepatitis B infection is very prevalent. It is a viral infection, it is prevalent, and good number of our population is carrier to this. So once this HPV infection is there, so certain long term, it causes the hepatocellular carcinomas. Similarly, hepatitis C infection is also common. But fortunately now there is treatment available for hepatitis B, but for hepatitis B still not a good treatment is available. And we all know that hepatitis B spreads by needle pricks, those who take drugs, that syringe injections, through blood transfusion, or unprotected sexual behavior. Then those who consume alcohol, cirrhosis, and in advanced cirrhosis, that liver cancer also happens. Then coming to the gallbladder cancer, because it has seen, this cancer is uncommon in South India, but in North it is common, particularly in the Ganges belt. Maybe something in our soil is there which is causing the cancer of the gallbladder. But one thing we always see, that whosoever comes with gallbladder cancer, there is a stone in also gallbladder. So somewhere a gallbladder stone is a causative factor. It doesn't mean that all gallstone patients are going to have gallbladder cancer, but there is an association. So who are at risk? Those gallstone patients where gallstones are 1 or 2 and very large. So they are at risk. Then coming to the important thing is colorectal cancer. About colorectal cancer is that as we are more developed, as our diet is more refined, the incidence of colorectal cancer is increasing. In a traditional Indian diet or African diet, where we were eating lot of vegetable foods and daily bulky stools, so colorectal cancer was less. But now we consume, as the urbanization and all that, so less food. Because of less food and protein-rich diet, transit time is increased. What I mean to say, transit time in the intestine is increased. If you take a lot of food and daily good bowel habit, so what you eat is passed through the GI, small intestine and colon, rapidly. So harmful substances doesn't act in the intestine, colon. So colon cancer was less earlier, but now it is more. If you take non-vegetarian diet, if you take very rich diet, fat and all that, so that transit time is more. So because of this, colon cancer is high. Another important thing is that now we are seeing is the rectal cancer in young age. In last 2 months, I must have seen around 4 or 5 patients of the young age. Cause I don't know, but problem with rectal cancer is that the moment it is advanced, and here also there is somewhere lack of awareness in the public, in the physician also. Like patient presents with pain while defecation or bleeding per rectum or blood in the stool, and everyone thinks it may be hemorrhoids, piles or something. we don't think that it may be carcinoma, cancer. The devastating thing is that the moment cancer rectum is advanced, it comes down and enter into the anal canal. We have to remove anal canal also, we have to remove rectum also. So there is a permanent colostomy. Permanent colostomy means the large intestine is brought through a hole from the abdomen and a permanent bag will be there. So unfortunately these young patient has to undergo that suffering. As far as prevention is we should consume fruits, vegetable, fibers, multivitamin with folic acid. Aspirin is useful. Like these days, all elderlies are taking Ecosprin as a blood thinner. So these NSAIDs are preventive. Then calcium supplement, and we can diagnose colon cancer or rectal cancer early by simple stool test, if there is blood in the stool. And if symptoms are there, then sigmoidoscopy or colonoscopy. And one more thing is there, particularly the young patients, there are only few cancers which run in family, and colorectal cancer is one of them. Another cancer which may be run, that is breast cancer. But for colorectal cancer, there is now a test available, genetic test. Suppose in some family, a young patient of 30-35 years develops, the other family members, her brothers, sisters, can undergo, even cousins, that test. We call it the genetic mutation study. Earlier they were not available in India, and costs were very high, 70,000, 80,000 for that test also. But now it is only 15,000 cost, and we can know that whether it is genetic or not, whether it is heredity or not. And sample taken is saliva. From just taking saliva, they give that genetic mutation is there or not in this particular person. Then coming to genitourinary cancers, there are kidney cancer, bladder cancer, prostate cancer. Prostate cancer is the most common cancer. In fact, it is the third cancer, oropharyngeal, lung, then followed by prostate cancer. Usually, it happens after 50-60 years of the age. And it can be diagnosed by simple test, we call it the serum PSA, prostate specific antigen. So if it is high, then maybe person is having cancer. Most of the causes of this genitourinary cancer are our chemical industries, dye industries and textile industry, asbestos. So occupational, certain occupations are more hazardous in relation with this genitourinary cancer. So now coming to the conclusion. As far as prevention is concerned, only thing is that a normal, healthy life should be encouraged. In that, avoid tobacco and alcohol, improve nutrition, healthy lifestyle, and regular exercises. See, in the West, people do lot of exercise, but in India, we are not doing that amount of physical activity, running, jogging, and other things, playing, we should do. So, lack of physical activity, sedentary lifestyle also is harmful, and it increases the risk for cancer. Then one more thing is that regular health checkup. Unless we have problem and it is halting our day-to-day activity, we don't consult a doctor. If any symptom persists for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, we should consult the doctor and get the health checkup done. What I suggest, and it is recommended by International Society of Oncology also, that after 40 years, a simple test like blood test, all blood test, X-ray chest, ultrasound abdomen, we can detect cancer at the early stage, if it is there. And the most important thing is that we should know cancer, because we always think that cancer can never happen to me, it will never happen to my family. ये किसी और को होता है, दूसरी फैमिली में कभी होता है, उनके यहाँ हुआ था. But cancer is not a rare disease at present, so it can hit to anybody. So best thing is that we should know what is cancer, what are the symptoms of the cancer, and once we know, then we can take some steps immediately and get treated and get cured also. Thank you very much for patiently listening.
Thank you, Dr. Katyar Saab, for so elaborated thought over the cancer. How nicely he has concluded in such a way. The long subject has been concluded within half an hour. Really, Dr. Katyar Saab को देख के जो मुझे आज गौरव की अनुभूति होती है, इस सभागार में कानपुर विश्वविद्यालय के छात्रों के लिए एक प्रेरणा का स्रोत है। इसी विश्वविद्यालय का एक छात्र इस ऊंचाइयों तक पहुंचा है, तो हमारे दूसरे छात्र भी इससे प्रेरणा लेके आगे बढ़ेंगे। और हम दो लाइन में यही कह सकते हैं कि कानपुर यूनिवर्सिटी का पत्थर जहां जा पड़ा पहाड़ हो गया, और मेडिकल कॉलेज कानपुर के बीच जहां जा पड़े पहाड़। साथियों, खासकर जो हमारे युवा साथी पीछे बैठे हुए हैं, पूरे इस टॉक में एक ही मैसेज है, अभी तक मैलिग्नेंसी और कार्सिनोमा का इलाज पूरी तौर से हम लोगों के पास उपलब्ध नहीं है। ऐसी स्थितियों में जो डेटा और फिगर डॉक्टर कटियार साहब ने दिए, उससे रियली लगता है कि बचाव ही एक महज इसका बचाव ही एक साधन है। और जो कुछ शब्दों में इनको कंक्लूड इसी तरह किया जा सकता है कि प्रतिवर्ष करोड़ों लोग फंस रहे हैं कैंसर के जाल में, लाखों लोग समा रहे हैं मृत्यु के गाल में। अभी तक कारगर इलाज की तलाश है, त्रासदी की रोकथाम, परहेज और बचाव ही आस है, परहेज और बचाव ही आस है।
Such a complex topic in such a simple words that every person can understand the cancer. As far as I appreciate, the cancer is one of the dreaded disease, but if it is diagnosed in time, it can be treated very well. And if the time is lapsed, then the treatable disease becomes incurable. Therefore, as Dr. Katyar has said, the master health checkup is one of the most important things which should be done after the age of 40 years, periodic health checkups. And nowadays the multinational companies and even the banks, they are offering these checkups regularly to their employees and officers. So this is a very important thing. As far as the male cancers are concerned, particularly this prostate cancer, it is almost like a curable. If it is treated in time, it is a curable disease. The bladder cancer, it is also a very good cancer which can be treated if in time. The breast cancer, as he has told, the periodic self-breast examination by the ladies is one of the simplest tests which can be performed, by all the adult ladies, by herself, and a simple test of mammography can diagnose most of the breast cancers. So this is the era when we should go for prevention. Anyhow, the treatment part has also increased, taken a new heights by development of new chemotherapies and the linear accelerators for the radiotherapy, which are much better, much pointed, and disease-centric. And that's how we can get a better cure also. And we are seeing many persons who are living their full life. There's no effect of their cancer. For example, one of the leading politicians, Sharad Pawar, you must have seen, a few years back he was operated by a commando operation was done on his face, and there is little deformity in the face, but anyhow he has lived, I think, more than 10 years he has passed after that operation. So that's how the lifespan, even after the diagnosis and the treatment of cancer, is excellent nowadays. Now here we are open for questions. If anybody want to ask any question, Dr. Katiyar will be